Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426 and today we have the review of the full Mechanics 1 to 100 scale Raider Gundam. Now first of all, I would like to mention a few things about maybe yesterday and a few days ago. I did post a few things regarding that I was going to get this kit. I may have accidentally mentioned these as Reborn 100, so sorry about that term, because so far, based on my observation, as mentioned, the 1 to 100 scale Universal Sentry kits are the Reborn to 100, and anything other than Universal Sentry I think are called the full Mechanics. So starting from IBO and then the Iron Blood Orphans, and then we had these units as well. So yeah, I think that's the difference. So sorry if I made you guys a little bit confused. Number two is that this is not my first attempt filming this, but still I decided to buy a bigger bookshelf, so something wider than this one. So I will have a little bit more space going on there, and hopefully that would fix a few issues that I'm currently having. Alright, so let's see what we got. So first of all, the Raider Gundam was released yesterday, so Saturday at Gundam Base Korea. So I'm not sure about other countries. I'm pretty sure Japan might have released it on Friday or something like that, so keep that in mind. And you might be wondering, why is like everything like this guy's bare bone? Is that the main huge issue that I'm having with this kit is that the weight distribution of the kit isn't that great. It's extremely back heavy, if you ask me, or it could be just me that's not, you know, handling it correctly. But for now, I've been fiddling around with it. It's extremely back heavy, so I highly recommend you get an action base for a 1 to 1 scale kit. Now for me, I would usually have that. Problem is, I moved out and for some reason, I did not bring any of my 1 to 100 scale action bases. I only brought the small ones. So whoopsie, whoops. Anyway, so let's see what we got for in terms of components. So first of all, what you get, of course, is obviously the Raider Gundam itself. I would have to say the color separation on this kit was amazing. You'll see what I mean when we get into the stickers. So obviously we have the main base of the unit, and then you might be wondering where his other hand is. You'll get to that soon. So let's see what we got. So first of all, here we have the backpack going on here. I do love the backpack. Now usually this would be on the back as usual. However, once again, I think it's this backpack makes the kit extremely back heavy, because I've had it multiple times where the kit would be leaning backwards as well. So here we have the backpack. Here we have another hole here, which is actually meant for the action base. So among them, you would have something, I think it's this way. Okay, this way. So you have this piece here. You would slap it on here like that, or something like that. Okay, maybe this is the correct way. Okay, so this is how you're supposed to connect it, and then you're supposed to connect here to the action base, so this guy could be floating around more easily rather than having the connection between the legs. So yeah, action base is 100% necessary for those who want to do some dynamic poses going on here as well. So the backpack here, so we have some nice articulations here. So each wing is like individually articulated, so you can rotate this 360. Well, not exactly 360, because there is a peg here, but it's one of those T-shaped pegs, so it does block to a certain degree to lock it into place. So this is actually locked in, so you do have a 90-degree movement. Like, keep in mind, this is for the locking mechanism. On here on the back, we do have a ball jointed thruster. Looks pretty powerful as well. And then the wings can actually open out, so it does require you have to open it in a very specific direction, because there are a few, like, you know, moving hinges here. So we have this middle gray piece that pretty much locks these two wings into place. So you have these two movements here. You can see here there is a click like that, so keep in mind to do that. And then on the outer wing, it's just pretty much connected to this plastic piece, so there's no other movement going on here. And everything you see here is color separated. Even this yellow piece right over here, this yellow piece is a color separated part. How did they do it? Like that. This is actually a separate piece, which I was pretty surprised. I mean, this isn't exactly the first time seeing this, but seeing something similar to this. But yeah, I was actually surprised they would actually do it on here. So, because usually these are the parts that are perfect for stickers, but still, yeah, good job on that. And then once again, the main connection here is this, and then you can actually open this section up. Hopefully I can open it this time, because this is actually a very narrow like gap here. So let me get a knife. Hope I don't scratch it up again or get hurt. So what you can do is, there we go, you can open this section up and then reveal another cannon here. So this is actually, yeah, they did a pretty good job on here. And once you close it down, I believe it goes down together like that. So pretty cool. So that's that for the backpack. Let's talk about, yeah, I had to make some space basically. So here we have some decal sheets. So these are the sticker type decals. We have all these symbols going on here. Yeah, you can go nuts with these. All right, and then here we have the sticker sheet. So you can see this is all the stickers you get. So the first two stickers are for the eyes, but keep in mind inside the head they actually put in a very large clear green piece, but not in this color, a much more a lighter green. So which is why if you want to be more I don't know, color accurate, you can use these here as well. So you will have to apply the stickers individually on each eye, and then here we have another head camera. Once again, it's a different color greens, which is why I think they gave you the sticker. The back head camera does not, the clear piece does not connect to the back head camera, which is why I did use it. And this one is actually meant attached to a weapon, which is right over here. So I believe this is, according to the manual, this is the 52mm hyper velocity shield cannon. So this is a shield and a cannon, which I have some questions because I believe these are the ammo magazines here, and I don't think you want to get these parts hit by anything. But anyway, here is the sticker going on here as well. So yeah, pretty cool. I do like the weapon concept here. Also, the build style is very fun because you actually build each barrel individually here, and then you connect them together with a few more pieces going on here. And now, for those who know, the Raider Gundam attaches this to his entire arm. But if you don't like that, you can always fold this down and then use it as a double barrel gun if you want to do so. Although it does seem a little bit silly, but once again, I think it's a pretty cool option if you ask me. So that's that. And then finally we have the hammer, and believe it or not, according to the manual, it does call it the hammer, but it also has another name called Mjolnir. I think that's the same name as Thor's hammer. Now you might be wondering, on the promo pics they did mention about this. So what you can do is that you can actually you could technically extend this. Where is it? Okay, there we go. You can extend the wire by rotating these two spikes here. There are these two spikes which are technically connected together. They can rotate together, and you can actually extend the wire. Now the wire does go extremely long, and then if you don't like that, you can always rewind and then lock it into place like that. So I think that was a pretty cool option, because every time we get a mace type weapon or like a hammer type weapon, this has always been an issue, even in Gunpla, even in Robot Damacy figures. So I think they did a pretty good job on this one. Instead of doing like, oh yeah, you got a wire, just connect this piece and that piece if you're going to use it, and not, don't use those. So I think this is a pretty cool solution if you ask me. And the reason why I have the hand connected here is that putting the handle inside the handle was kind of difficult for me. It's a very like perfect stiff fit connection, so yeah, I don't want to go over that again. Alright, so we've seen the weapons, and here are some other parts. So here we have this stand here that has this extra part on the top. So if you want to do some hammer action poses, this is what you use. However, I've seen these before. We've had some similar stands or additional parts for these, and these usually don't work that well, because technically the hammer should be following this piece, but when you actually do it, it's actually this piece is following the hammer, meaning that it's all going to be wobbly all around here. So yeah, unless you control like the lengths of the wire, then maybe it might be possible. So I'm going to test it out, but once again, I do suggest something with a larger base, because I think it's because this thing being all wobbly is because this part isn't that, it is too small, and then there's not much weight to it. So yeah. Alright, and actually, believe it or not, I believe you do use this part for the transformation, if I remember correctly. Alright, other than that, we have these parts as well. So here are other like support units. So these parts are actually for the transformation unit. So you attach these to the wings, and then for those who remember the promo pics, you can actually connect the Calamity Gundam's feet onto here, so you have a more stable connection. However, these are not enough for that. I haven't tested it, but if all the promo pictures, all the display units I've seen, they also connected an action base to Calamity Gundam itself with these. So keep that in mind. Do it at your own risk. And then here we have another action base, but I believe this is more for the transformation version. And then here we have another support unit for those who want to display their Raider Gundam MA mode into the ground. You use these. All right, so that was a lot of stuff to explain, but keep in mind there's still a lot more to explain. So here we have some leftover parts. Let's go over these quickly. So we have some leftover parts from the action base plate, nothing too special about that. Here we have some extra more unit parts leftover. So these are like a GAT frame units, so for 1/100 scale. So obviously there are going to be some leftover parts here that we don't use. So yeah, nothing too special, but we do still get the trigger finger out there. And then here we have another plate. Here is the H2 plate. Actually, no, that's the wrong plate. So here here is the E2 plate. So here we have these parts right over here. Once again, pretty much a repeat of these as well. Sorry about the empty plate. I thought that was a different one. All right, so now let's get on to the review. So actually, let me get this out, and then let me get this attached. So the main reason why I took it out, you'll pretty much see what's going to happen once I have this wing connected. So here we go. So the wings are connected here, and you can see I did balance it for now. It is balanced, but once again, it really depends on the whole situation here. So I'll try to show you guys the articulation with everything on here. So let's start with the head. Now the head was the part that pretty much surprised me right over here. So the head, everything you see is color separated. So on the front section, I did not use any stickers. The only sticker I use on the head is the one on the back head camera, which I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but you can see that sticker over there. But on the front section, everything here is all color separated pieces. And for those who don't know, the Raider Gundam's one of his unique distinctive features is that he has a cannon on his mouth. So according to this is the 100mm energy cannon Zorn. So yeah, I believe this, despite being a cannon, it is a bit on the short range unit. So keep that in mind. And so the head can go down pretty well. Oh, come on, camera, not now. Okay, and then up pretty well as well. So this is connected to a ball joint, but the way how you connect it is kind of odd. So you make the front head, and then you slide the ball joint inside the head, and then you cover it with the back. So I'm not sure if this is supposed to pop out or not. So I tried to go 360, but once again, the extremely long V-fin is actually blocking the way. You can see actually it's colliding with the backpack. So keep in mind not to force it, or you're gonna break something. Now, for the wings, you can fold them all the way back here. You can fold the wings all the way back here, and then on the claws here. Now, these claws are also pretty interesting. I thought they would be connected to the back, but no, these are actually connected to the side skirts right over here. You can see this entire piece connected to here. So if you want to make some clearance, you can kind of rotate them side to side like that. You can move it about less than 90 degrees for now because of the wings. But for the arms, can technically go 360 if you know where to go. And then the shoulders are also working pretty well. You can kind of extend the joints outwards as well. I believe you should be able to go even more. And here are the inside shoulder points, which do require some extra stuff. But once again, the arms are popping out because I did not connect them fully. But keep in mind, you are able to extend the joints outwards like this. Oh, there we go. You can see the joints has been extended outwards, and you can actually get more movement. So yeah, although that might be meant for something else as well. And here is here is what I'm talking about. You can see the kit is now leaning backwards, and you can see the back is a bit heavy. And the reason why it's looking like this is that, sure, the wings are support, is that because of the weight distribution, especially on the legs as well, you can see this part is a little bit wobbly. You can see this section here is supposed to lock into place. And even though I lock it into place, sometimes it can't win the weight of the legs. And sometimes when I'm grabbing the legs, and next time the main top body weight distribution is going to affect it and go backwards. So that's the only issue I'm having. Now, technically, this is an easy fix. I can technically easily fix that, but considering that I built it right away, you shouldn't have any problems right off the bat. But still, at least it's an easy fix, so I'm not going to be too angry about that. All right, back to the arms. Going 360 is possible. Going to the side, oh boy. Now going to the side, this happens. So you can see something popped out. So I think this is mostly for the transformation going on here. So keep that in mind. So going to the side is technically possible, but not all the way, because you can see it's pushing this part all the way up. But we still get a 360 twist on the arm itself, and then we get a pretty decent bend going on here. Yeah, the arm is trying to transform on its own at this point. So there's a lot of moving parts here, which is why I am struggling to review this. So here we go. We do get a decent bend. I think it's just the armor blocking the way, but you could technically go a bit more. Now the main body, pretty simple design here. You do get a side-to-side movement going on here. Ab crunch, a bit of an ab crunch, and then rotation is out of the question, because keep in mind the claws are blocking the way, the backpack is blocking the way. So yeah, there's just no way to go 360 on the main body unless you take everything off. Now the front skirts, they do they are separated pieces if you want to do so. They do come in separate pieces. These red parts are also separate pieces as well. And then I believe this also has that gimmick where you can slightly move these skirts outwards like that. So not because of the ball joint, but there is a splitting mechanism on here. So there should a slight split mechanism. So you can actually move the skirts outwards like that. You can see the gap over here. So that does exist as well, although on the stiff side, so make sure you know what you're doing. And then we do get a nice side swivel going on here. Once again, this mechanism is a little bit on the loose side, so I really need to find a way to lock that in place, which I do have a few solutions that might work. And then going forward, it's also possible thanks to the front skirt moving pretty well. That is possible. The side skirts also can rotate around if you want to do so. And once again, the claws are like all the way around, so you're gonna have to move the claws like that. The claws do also have their own articulation right over here, so I'll show you guys later. All right, and then the back skirts, once again, they all move as well. So going to the back is also possible, but keep in mind, you're gonna have to move the position here to do that as well, because this part is actually colliding with the top section here. All right, so and then bend wise, we do get a decent bend going on here. Now there is a transformation here, there are some more moving parts here, but once again, that's not considered really articulation here, like the feet going like that, more for the transformation here. So that's that. And then we have all these nice looking thrusters, ball joint as well. And this section does move up and down a bit, but once again, for the transformation. Oh boy, and you can see the unstableness going on here because of that locking mechanism and the heaviness. All right, so and then here we have the claws here. Now this is I don't think the Raider Gundam actually use these when he's in his mobile suit mode, but you can see it can go all the way down. So basically 180 degrees and then go back up and fold it up. And then I believe there should be a slight more movement going on here if I remember correctly. So I think 270 degrees might be the most suitable way to explain it. And once again, the claw can flip to the other side if you want to do so. So yeah, it does have some decent articulation here. All right, so we've seen the basic articulation of the unit, and then if there's anything I haven't mentioned is regarding the split. Now, once again, this part is blocking it to going full split. The issues that I'm having, or something that you might have to deal with, is number one is being back heavy. Number two is that you're going to need some action base for a proper dynamic pose because all this stuff going on here. Number three is that I hope this is just mine, but once again, this gimmick here doesn't lock into place firmly. So once again, because of the weight distribution, you're going to have this part fall out or be, not locked into place multiple times. All right, so I'll be right back with the demonstration of the weapons, and we'll go to the transformation after that. Okay, I'm back. So because of my limited bookshelf space, I had to move this to a different table. So once again, I mentioned I'm going to order a larger bookcase. But anyway, so here we have the demonstration of the hammer. So once again, I tried to use the one that was included here, but once again, it just doesn't work. This thing is just too light, not as stable. So which is why I connected the Tamash Nation's action-based style thing going on here, and it works well. And keep in mind, this is the wire entirely extended out. You can technically reduce the length if you want to do so. So yeah. It works pretty well if you actually ask me, so depending on how you take it in. So yeah, and it was very conservative enough that they would actually have this extra stand for the connection here, but of course that also is used for the transformations here, so it really depends on how you look at it. And once again, the cannons here do connect it to the arm with no problems as well. It's just a simple peg and hole system. You just need to peg it in and it should stay there for very well. It's a very stable connection going on here. Now once again, getting onto the pose here was not easy because keep in mind I cannot rotate the waist because of the backpack and the claws colliding with each other at the same time. And then if I'm not careful, the locking mechanism here is going to not work and then droop backwards. So I would say the articulation exists, but it's hindered by its own design. So I can't say this is like Bandai's engineering fault. It's just that the design and engineering, it was destined to collide with each other. So yeah. All right, so we've seen the basics of the unit. I say the design is very cool. The color separation is amazing. The articulation might be an issue to certain people as well. So that's something like each person will have to deal with as well. And hopefully this issue that I'm having is just on mine. I don't know anybody else who has this kit yet. So hopefully someone will help me out if theirs is also like this. Alright, now I'll be right back with the transform version, and let's see what the transform MA mode has us to offer. Okay, I'm back. So here we have the Raider Gundam in its mobile armor form, and just for the fun of it, I just attached, well, not exactly attached, I just put the Kyokai Senki Kenbuzan on top of it. So just as a joke, but still, here we have the mobile armor form. The transformation itself was pretty simple. It's pretty much straightforward. So as long as you have the manual, you shouldn't have too much issues on transforming. Alright, so there's a few things I would like to mention going on here. So according to the manual, yes, the manual does show you guys that the claws can come forward while even in the mobile suit form. So that's that. And you might be wondering how I attach this. So currently we still use this for the transformation. You see the action base here. Here we have the stand, the hammer holding part, and then the clear piece here, you have to take apart the stand and then attach it here. You might be wondering, how do you attach the hammer? So this may sound a little bit, this may seem a little bit on the wrong idea, but you can see there's a hole on the crotch area, and there's a peg on the hammer. You literally plug it in there, and then you attach it here like that. That's the gist of it. So technically, if you don't want to use the bottom section right over here, you could technically take this part out, reattach it to the hammer, and then get a separate action base like one of these, and then attach it here for a better height if you want to do so. But once again, that's going to be extremely, you can definitely tell that's not going to be the best weight distribution ever. So I do suggest, if you want to put it on the ground, this might be the more stable version out there. Alright, so I already mentioned that the gun is inside here, and which is kind of difficult to open. Now, while transforming this is like my second or third time trying this, and I've already gotten a few stress marks on the main connector here onto the legs here. So I do suggest that you be careful with that, because at first it might be a little bit tricky to do so. It is the typical Wing Gundam, Zeta Gundam style leg transformations here, so it does seem pretty obvious, but at the same time, when doing it for the first time, it's a bit stiff, which is why it may be a little bit tricky. And for some reason, these two legs are supposed to attach together with these pegs on in between. Yeah, they sometimes work, they sometimes don't for some reason. And as you can see on the back here, this piece here is actually kind of locking the legs in place here, but at the same time, because this gray piece right over here, I'm not sure if you can see it, this gray piece right over here has actually these pegs on each side, and on the sides there are these holes that connect it here, so it does kind of lock all the legs into place. So that's actually a pretty good thing. And then I was really surprised with the shoulders, that you open up the shoulders, you pull out the guns, and then reclose the shoulders and make them go forward. That was a pretty good idea. And the Raider Gundam head is, like seen in the anime, is still right over here, so no big deal. Regarding the claws, I think I already showed you guys some articulation here. So in this form, the gray parts right over here, they can only up and down here, so don't try to rotate them or go side to side. The only part that can actually do that is number one, is only this part. This area is the only part that can rotate, so make sure you don't break anything. And if you're wondering, yes, the claws are individually articulated here. So there's one articulation here, and then there's another articulation point here. There's no beam effect parts for this, so oh well. And same goes for the other side, because these parts are all identical to each other. So yeah, you can actually make them go forward. I believe this has been seen a few times in the anime or sometimes in the game, so that's pretty cool. And despite how I believe the cannon here was originally attached to the right arm, it goes to the left side for some reason. Now you might be wondering, how do you actually attach the Calamity Gundam on top here? So one of the parts I showed you was these parts. You attach these parts. Oh boy, the balance. These parts here are the parts that you connect to the wings. You can, if you don't want to use them, you can always take them off if you want to do so. So let me just, you can take them off if you want to do so. So apparently, according to the manual, these parts are supposed to fit between the feet. So if the feet is like this, it's supposed to fit into these gap areas for the typical mobile suit out there. So yeah. But once again, that's not enough. All the promo pictures and display images I've seen, they also attach the extra action base to the Calamity Gundam on top. So I don't think these are going to be enough. And even so, if I did bring the Calamity Gundam with me while moving, yeah, there's no way I can actually show you guys on camera, because yeah, this thing itself takes a lot of space on its own. And well, for now, that's pretty much it for the Raider Gundam review. So once again, I think the build was very fun. The color separation has been done excellently. The articulation seems a little bit limited because of its design and gimmicks. And my biggest issue is that its weight distribution isn't that great. You can see even in mobile armor form, even with the stand base here, it's still it's extremely tricky to balance the weight distribution on left and right. And when it's in mobile suit form, the legs don't really lock into place, especially the hinge gimmick on the waist section. That does not lock into place firmly, which does bring out a problem of weight distribution and the fact that this thing is a little bit back heavy. So once again, unless you're willing to fix those parts, or hopefully it's just mine, for the locking mechanism, but still for the weight distribution, especially for the back heaviness, that's going to be something a little bit tricky to fix going on here and there. But once again, if you're trying to complete the Calamity Gundam and the Raider Gundam and then the Forbidden Gundam trio, definitely go get one as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if they also release a variant of the Raider Gundam as well. And if it depends on the variant, if it's the variant that I'm thinking of, I'm willing to try. But if not, I don't think I'll be getting more of these guys. Anyway, thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the Raider Gundam from the full Mechanics line. If you guys got any questions or requests, you can comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews on, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.